Hi everyone, it's Victor speaking. And I just have to share a story straight away because I was doing, before this video, I was making the Mercury in Virgo. And now Virgo is the sign of cleanliness. And actually I was cleaning all day today. But the story is that I was in my bedroom trying to record the video. And for some reason, the image of the video was a little bit blurry. And I thought it was the light. So I started playing around where to see it. It became a little bit better, but it wasn't really 100%. And now I sat down in my living room to make the new moon video in the sign of Leo. And that's when I realized that the camera lens is a little bit dirty. It needs a little bit of a TLC. And all of a sudden, the image became a lot clearer. Anyway, just some literal meaning of life situations, you know. I just wanted to mention it. But today I'm here to speak about a Leo new moon, which is actually a very, very significant one. So if you are new to my channel, then welcome. My name is Victor from AstroViktor.com. And if you wish to have a reading with me, then you can do so. Also, I've got Sveti working for me. And most probably very shortly, I'm hoping within a month, there is going to be a new member of my family also who is a psychic. But she is amazing, but I'm going to introduce her anyway. I've never ever met a psychic like that. And anyway, I don't want to speak about it today. But I want to speak about the Leo new moon. Now, this is going to be happening on the 8th of August, which is also very significant because that date is associated with the Lion portal opening. Now, I know there are plenty of talks about this, so I thought I would give you a little bit of a summary about that, because some people associate this new moon being very important because it happens on the 8th of August. But it might not be as important as others kind of make it. So I'm going to explain to you. So the Lion's Gate portal is the name for a celestial event that sees Sirius, it's basically a star, a fixed star, rising in the sky during Leo season. Now, Sirius, as I said, is a fixed star. This is one of the brightest one of all. Kind of like it's also called as the spiritual sun star. So, and then in August, after the disappearance, Sirius returns to the night sky. Basically, the ancient people, the ancient Egyptians, really looked at it as a significant change, and they noticed that one of their major rivers always flooded around that time. So actually, this day is somehow associated with kind of like advancement, a renewal, but also some type of flood as well. Okay, so this is pretty much the significance around it. And they kind of believe that this is a portal which gets kind of opened up. Now, from a numerological point of view, this is so much of an 8, right? Now, if you think about what number 8 is in the tarot cards, well, that's going to be the card of strength. I mean, there are different approaches to it, but I do believe that number 8 is the strength card. So it kind of very much about giving us a little bit of a confidence. So on the tarot card, you can see this woman with 3 arms and then opening up a mouth of a lion. So it really talks about confidence and strength. Obviously, half of her arm can be chopped down within seconds by the lion, but she is so strong. So of course, from a spiritual perspective, we've got number 88, which is very much about a double infinity energy. So it also talks about the possibility of the endless possibilities, basically. It's kind of like the energy when you have to order it from the universe and then it happens. as I said, Sirius is one of the brightest star, right? And it's one of the most benefic one as well. So overall, this looks very positive from that perspective. This Lion Gate portal, very much about getting one step closer to our destiny, and kind of it helps us to reach a spiritual awareness as well. So I would say that this is the day of a manifestation. This is when you really must plan and plant your seeds of any type of intention. And this does not happen all the time when the new moon is actually coincide with this lion portal opening. Okay, so the number 88 is very much about infinity, spiritual intelligence, kind of like a DNA activation to a certain extent. It is believed that on these days we can actually reach higher frequencies. And it's kind of like doing a manifesting or some spiritual activities around the star Sirius. Or so how can we bring Sirius into our life? Now, a new moon happens on that very day. So new moons are about setting our intentions. That's all about manifestation as well. Basically a moment when we kind of need to sit down and then we want to be, starting a new chapter in our life. But the new chapter always indicates that something which we also need to leave behind as well. Okay. Now, one of the reasons why I said that we need to be a tad careful with this, because actually the heliacal rising of Sirius this year is going to be happening on the 11th. Therefore, shall we consider this new moon so powerful, or shall we not? No, I do believe we should, by the way, not just because of the Lion's Gate portal, but on the same day when Sirius will be rising, Mercury is going to be entering the sign of Virgo. So I think that's going to be quite prominent. And I think with this new moon, it's all about bringing something to light, basically, and making some type of big decisions, or making some of your dreams to come to life. So it's happening on the 8th of August, early in the morning, 9:50 a.m. New York time, Eastern time. And it's going to be happening on 16 degrees of Leo. Now, I would like to mention that this new moon is, of course, ruled by the sun because it happens in the sign of Leo. But from a decan point of view, it's on Sagittarius decan. And on top of that, it's on Sagittarius dwad as well. Now, I've spoken about decans and dwads before. I might make a separate video about it, actually, because it might be very educational and it might give you a completely new approach to your chart. But therefore, it's also, this new moon is also ruled by Jupiter as well. So we're going to have to look at Jupiter. Now, one thing which I would like to speak about, having the new moon on the second decan of the sign of Leo. Of course, Leo is all about shining and Sagittarius is all about indulgence. So indulgence can become a problem. We can actually rely on excessive compliments. We want to be flattered. We want gifts. We want actually kind of like courtship. We want to have plenty of adventure, right? Let's say if Leo is all about going on holiday, Sagittarius is all about travel. And then we've got Mercury involved because Mercury is within 7 degrees from the sun and moon. So basically it's called combusted. So it's very much about planning ahead and very much about focusing on travel plans, right, overall. So this could actually very much talk about that we want to be going on holiday and then we want to be planning some types ahead. So think about Jupiter as in Zeus, right? And the lion is actually the king of the jungle. So it's very much about plenty of leadership. So somehow leadership is going to be playing a significant role with this new moon. Maybe new moon is all about a new beginning, an initiation point. So maybe a new government is going to be somewhere forming, right? Or it could be very much about that someone is going to get accused that being too bossy. Or Leo is all about entertainment, industry, flirt, and getting out there, being on the beach, creativity, self-expression. So actually, this is a brilliant time in a sense to kind of organize bits and bobs, or not really looking at things what we can't be bothered by. Now, also what's interesting is that this new moon is going to be happening on a Sunday, which is also ruled by the sun. So kind of like the solar plexus energy is very active here. So very possible that we start a new romance, especially if this new moon is happening in one of your relationship houses, which is the 1st, 4th, 5th, 7th, and 11th house. Even the 3rd, actually. So those are somehow relating with people houses, right? And I think this new moon is very much about activating kind of like the light within us to give birth to something. It's definitely about how we're going to move forward. It's time to kind of enter a new chapter in our life. How we can build confidence in that area of life where your new moon is actually falling. So what makes you come alive? Kind of like a sense of this is me feeling, which is very much coming together with this new moon. What really comes to my mind actually is a song by Kiala, whatever her name is, This Is Me song. And she's a bigger lady, and it was in the Greatest Showman. I love that song actually. And this is kind of the new moon, which really reminds of her as well as of the song, because the Leo new moon is always about authenticity. So how can I be the authentic version of myself? How I can actually balance out all the Aquarian energy, which we had to deal with recently, right? So how I can gain my personality back and not necessarily getting lost in a crowd. You know, maybe getting lost, yeah, I'm vaccinated, I'm not vaccinated, and then being split up in groups. So it's about, yeah, me. So the focus is on me. Focus is on saying something out loud, because as I said, Mercury is involved in this new moon as well. It's within 7 degrees. So it's kind of like coming back to yourself. Have a look at where this new moon is, and there's the area of life where you kind of need to be shining. Now, I would like to mention that the Mercury conjunction is actually, you know, quite loose, 7 degrees, but the reason why it's important because that Mercury is combusted. So Mercury is the planet of communication. So who doesn't allow you to speak? And that might be a major theme here. Something that you have been thinking about for a very long time, which actually maybe, why am I not myself? Who is kind of overshadowing me? So this new moon is kind of, has got that strong mental quality. And I also would like to mention that this new moon is full of fixed energies. And fixed, because we've got planets in Taurus, we've got planets in Aquarius. Now, actually, Jupiter is back into Aquarius as well, right? And then we've got all these Leo energies with Mercury and the new moon. So overall, it's very much about how comfortable we feel in our skin, how stable we are. You know, fixed signs are a little bit slower, but they are progressing, just they do that in their own time. So it's very much about focusing on yourself and kind of forget about others. However, this new moon is being squared by Uranus. So this could bring very much anxiety, fear, radical changes around our life, which kind of really makes you frustrated and agitated. Or somehow this is also a restless energy. So it could show some very exciting breakthroughs. it could show, because Uranus is the planet of awakening and change. It really shakes things up. It really like turns things on our head. We kind of forced to see something in a completely new way, right? Because Uranus comes like a lightning bolt. It strikes without any basically signs. Yeah, so it could be somehow kind of like a sudden awakening, as I said. And Uranus is very active this time around because, as I said, it's squaring the new moon. So we might be getting some very important informations or some informations about the changes it's going to be happening, maybe at your work, maybe in your society, maybe in your relationship. You can actually feel a lot more scattered this time around by Mercury being combusted and Uranus squaring the sun and the moon. We can feel uncertainty in our life. Kind of like Uranus is your third eye. So remember, Mercury is higher octave with Uranus. So Mercury is collecting the data, and Uranus is very much about connecting with the divinity and downloading information from there. So it's pretty much your third eye. And it could really indicate that your third eye is going to get opened. It's kind of like the rise of your consciousness in a sense. So new moon is very much about, this time around, very much about breaking free from old habits, old patterns, and then following your heart desire. Leo rules your heart. Being brave and then standing your truth and then gaining your authentic power back. It is about owning who you are, being proud of what you have achieved so far or how far you have come, and being confident in your journey you want to be taking. And as I said, breaking away from somehow your comfort zone. Uranus in the sign of Taurus, right? So this Leo moon is very heart-driven, very heart-centered, a little bit egotistical, you know, so somehow probably we need to be staying out of ego type of energies, right? But it's new moon. Because of the new moon, it's very much about having a fresh approach to something. Be careful, because with this square we can overthink things, right? You start thinking about the chaos around you, the instability, and so forth. And I do believe that negative energy attracts negativity into our life as well. But you might be overly excited about something. Remember that the new moon is on Jupiterian territories, right? So we can get overly excited, overly anxious, overly nervous. Right? We might get emotionally stirred up a little bit because of others' unreliability, or people become very impulsive, or we can see some rebelliousness, unpredictable behavior from others as well. Jupiter in Aquarius, Uranus square. Thank God the moon is not out of bound anymore. So that's kind of a good news. It doesn't necessarily take it so much to the extremes like the previous new moon and full moon we had, but still we've got plenty of Uranian flavor. So it's about bravery to start a new path and then keeping your options open for new possibilities and opportunities. And also what I've noticed in this new moon chart, that this is when Juno is actually having her final conjunctions to the South Node also, which is happening on the 8th of August. Now, it doesn't necessarily make an aspect, but this is a bang-on conjunction. So it does bring in some type of relationship matters. South Node is about letting go of something. Juno is a marriage partner. So maybe letting go of some of the old vision around relationship topics, which might be holding us back, and realizing that we need to be committing to something else if we want to be moving forward, right? So this new moon in Leo could be a divine timing of, let's say, starting to find a new relationship. If you feel, of course, that you need one, right? And as I mentioned, this new moon is actually opposing Saturn. Oh, I didn't mention that, but this new moon is widely opposing Saturn. It's a separated one. So meaning separated aspects very much talk about that something which was going in the past, right? So it could be talking about a reality check we had to do or we have to do now, and kind of like a shake-up by Uranus. So it's very much about loosening some of the bonds, being prepared to embrace new perspectives, trying new things. Maybe it's about you learning now how to use Facebook because you have never used it before. Or maybe you decide that I want to be doing some website or YouTube channel. And yes, I'm going to be bumping into some hardships, or I did in the past with that certain opposition. But this time around, maybe it's very much about taking action. Okay. So, by the way, I just also wanted to mention, with this Heliac rising of Sirius, that, as I said, always the Nile flooded each year around that day. So, and the ancient people believe that it was done by Isis as she wept for Osiris. So the energy of this occurrence is quite mixed here, because it really talks about the manifestation and it really talks about the sadness around the ancient goddesses. So if I am very pissed off, let's put it that way, then it could really talk about some type of destruction as well. Or, the promise of some natural disasters. I mean, with this Uranus, Leo new moon, I kind of feel like it's going to be extremely hot in the next couple of weeks. So you might want to be ready, drink enough water and so forth, because you might need it. So this is my interpretation on this new moon. So I hope you have enjoyed it. And then if you did so, then you know what I'm going to be saying. Press like, share with others, ring the notification bell. Tell me in the comment box where your new moon is going to be falling. And more importantly, what it brings you. So revisit the video in maybe 6-8 weeks time to see what it brought you. Thank you very much and have a blessed day, everyone. Bye-bye.